Ay, caramba!
Greetings Wanderer, this is Atlas here and welcome to the Void. Today I'm going to be reacting and breaking down a song called Yhorm the Giant from Dark Souls 3. This is the victorious nomination from the latest poll that I did, and as you can see here, it went in between Atrocious Raid from Trails of Cold against Yhorm the Giant from Dark Souls 3, and the Dark Souls 3 domination won by a very small margin, let's say. But before we begin, I would like to invite you to check my newest merch, which is actually inspired by Dark Souls and BERSERK. And as you can see here, I worked with my team thinking of you to make this happen. And there's a very cool thing, which if you make a purchase, you will have the chance to be featured in one of my videos. The only thing you have to do is take a picture with either your shirt or your hoodie and send it to the contact email that there is in the description of the video, and I will put you in the intro of one of my videos, okay? Lastly, please go check my newest song, which is a BERSERK inspired song called Conceived in Blood, which is actually the song that you have been listening in the background of the intro of this video. So if you have been enjoying the music, please, I'm gonna leave it in this card right here, but also I'm gonna leave a link in the description of this video, okay? So with that being said, onward. Okay, we're coming back to Dark Souls once more. Yhorm the Giant from Dark Souls 3. Boom. Okay, it's starting with a lot of energy from the get-go. The choirs sound super massive. I like how the cymbals are as a supporting role and not leaking everywhere. Yeah, the song needed that space. I like the accents in this part. I like the strings arrangement in this part. Ah. Wow, yeah. That was it, right? Yeah, that was it. Yeah, this is Yuka Kitamura, isn't it? I kind of remember because this song has a lot of similarities with Slave Knight Gael. My memory doesn't fail, you know. It has this super massive choirs, you know, and I mean, I'm talking about Slave Knight Gael, but this also has that. This track also it starts in a very high energy ceiling, let's say. It actually, well, I'm gonna have to listen to the song once more, I think, to check. But I think the energy and the tension dynamic that is going on in the song, it starts like on the top and then gives you a little bit of space, and that builds up towards the ceiling again. But we're going to be talking more in depth about those things and my actually favorite part of the song, which I'm gonna leave that for the breakdown. Okay, so let's break it down. Okay, so there is a couple different things that I would like to talk about in the breakdown of this particular song from Dark Souls 3. And, well, I think that I'm probably going to start with the most obvious one, which is that, well, basically this song is all about the choirs, okay? The choirs are indeed the spearhead, you know, the unrelenting force that is driving all the emotions and all the tension and all the energy that the track has, and the rest of the instruments are just there as a backup role, you know, as a secondary role, as a supporting role to enhance what the choirs are doing. So, you know, I really liked, for example, what the percussion was doing. It was very tamed. It's so, the arrangement was so good that it was barely perceivable, in the sense that it didn't take away from what was happening in the choirs, you know. Very specifically, how Yuka decided to add the cymbals in it, because sometimes I feel like, or let me rephrase this. I particularly don't like when cymbals are too loud. I like when cymbals are there to make a more smooth transition, not so much to splash something to, you know, and it sounds like super. I think what I'm trying to say is that it takes me out of the experience when the cymbals are way too loud. So I really liked how she incorporated the percussion in general, but very specifically the cymbals, you know, to make transitions and to make accents. I really liked how she did that. That is something that I particularly like when you're talking about the percussion. Things that I like loud in percussion are timpani rolls and that kind of thing, you know, like it's progressively louder and louder and louder, which is basically the player is just playing the roll with stronger force or whatever. The intensity of the notes are increasing progressively, and those kind of things, and more tribal kind of drums, you know, arrangements that are very present, you know. I like those kind of things that to be very upfront in music, but cymbals not so much. But that's not like I'm saying that doing that is bad or is a bad practice. Not at all. It's just that it's my personal preference to have the cymbals, you know, a little bit tamed, let's say. But anyways, I'm going off road with this. Okay, so yes, the choir's apologies are the spotlight of the whole track. They have a very a sort of a very percussive nature to it, and I'm not saying I'm not saying it because they are like, you know, like drums or anything. I'm saying it because the phrasing and how the way the words are articulated and the elongation of the phrases and so on and so forth. The way the performance of the vocals are actually doing it is very percussive in the sense that they do accents when they speak. You know, the vowels of the phrases and each syllable, let's say, of the words. So it's very accent oriented, very percussive oriented in that sense. Percussive, take this very quote unquote, because that's not necessarily like a very an orthodox way of describing it, but it's how I understand it in my head, let's say. So yeah, the choirs are very sometimes they're very elongated in their articulation, but also they are doing a lot of accents within the measures. You know, either the syllables land on a beat within the measure, or they are just accentuating the whole measure by itself. So that's why the choirs have this sort of they are very open in the way they are performed. You know, you don't have like this super fast attack in the vocals that they are saying a lot of words really really fast, or phrases that are very large phrases that are within a measure. No. They are either very long, or they are doing very specific accents, you know, within the measure. Now, in my opinion, what this actually achieves is that, I mean, accents are so. They are like the hammer to the anvil. When you do an accent, apologies. Very well. It depends of how you do it, of course. But in this specific song, I would say it's the hammer to the anvil. Every time an accent comes in, which, like I said before, it's done by the vocals, by the choirs, and everything else in the track. It's accommodating to that accent that is done in the choir, so it can sound more present, more percussive, more it has more of this epic feel, right? It sounds like that, like the song has this characteristic of hammer to the anvil, which makes sense because I'm guessing this is a boss battle, right? So within that very aggressive arrangement in the composition, there's this innate conflict and struggle that is very effervescent, because like I said before, imagine a hammer hammering an anvil or hitting an anvil, right? It's it's punishing all the time. And of course, me playing Dark Souls Remastered right now, I can be very, very familiar with that feeling, you know, of the boss being the hammer and you being the anvil, actually. You know, but yeah, that's basically what I can interpret from all the accents that are done in the song, by the way. Now, I would like to talk about two more things before ending my commentary on this track, and let's elaborate a little bit even further the accents of the song, okay? To me, this particular track was like an amalgamation in between Darkeater Midir, because of the pulse that this song has, and I talked about that more in depth about the pulse in songs, which is kind of a hard pulse, in my Darkeater Midir breakdown, which I'm gonna be leaving right here, but I'm also gonna be leaving it in the description of the video. Has this Slave Knight Gael thing going on with the choirs, but also it has the kind of waltz dancey thing from, I don't remember if it was Lawrence, the first vicar, or Ludwig Holy Blade from Bloodborne, that has that had that waltz, the waltz of death, I called it, thing going on in the song. And I think this song has that, because if I'm not mistaken, the waltz has like a 3/4 measure, and you can hear that all throughout the song. It's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. If you have the chance, listen to the song again and start counting how the song behaves. You know, you will be able to hear a part in the song that sounds louder or has the accent, and that's when you start counting, and you will hear that the accent comes again after the 3 count, let's say. So it's like the accent is 1, right? Like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and that's why this song sounds kind of dancey, waltzy kind of thing, because like I said before, if I'm not mistaken, waltz, traditional waltz measure is 3/4. So that also gives the song like this kind of swing, like you're in a swing, right? Like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. And you know what? This is crazy that I just thought about. But it's like having a pendulum in a clock, right? And let's say like the pendulum is you know these scenes in movies where you have this shot of the clock with a pendulum, and it's trying to convey some sort of mystery or tension within it. That's kind of the visual representation that I can give you to kind of associate that with the way the waltz sounds. You know, it has a mystique and a mystery within it, because that's kind of the thing that the way it's composed in that measure, which has that kind of swing, like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, gives it. Also, I'm gonna mention briefly that it also has, like I said before, this pulse, this hard pulse. Apologies. Very specifically at the end, when the composers, when Duke started to do more more accents, like more accentuated accents, let's say, yeah. Because you can associate that very specific sound in the accents and the way the percussion is behaving with the pulse of a heartbeat, you know? It's like... So that's why the waltz and how she arranged the accents within the song are so cool, and it adds so much to the tension that you feel from the track. Now, as a one last piece of reference, I'm going to recommend you to watch the dance scene from a movie called Legend, which is an 80s movie with Tom Cruise, which is a very old movie. There's a dance scene there, and you will be able to hear a very similar kind of song in the terms of of the swing that I was telling you about, the 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and you will be able to identify similar things within the accents in this song and on that song, because both share that waltz kind of arrangement. Now finally, I would like to talk about the ending, because this is something that composers do that I think it's really cool, which is an ending that is resolved and unresolved at the same time. And I've talked about this kind of arrangements before in other breakdowns that I've done, but I'm going to say it again. It's like a Schrodinger's cat kind of a scenario within music, in which you have a very identifiable ending to a song, because I mean the ending of the track is extremely radically different from all the arrangements from that the song had before it. You know, the ending of this track is basically like a sustained note on the strings with a tubular bell, with one tubular bell ringing till the end. However, that kind of ending is very ambiguous, and since there's so much ambiguity within those two things, so minimalistic, but at the same time so it tells you so much about the song and what's going on, which translates as you could either finish victorious or not. Because obviously, when you're fighting the boss, this track loops over and over. So if you didn't defeat the boss, then of course, well, you can keep going. I mean, like if you were to loop this track, you will probably hear that the transition in between that ending and the beginning of the song kind of glues together or correlate. But if you did finish the boss, like you beat it, then that ambiguity is resolved, and there's an actual ending to the track. But if you didn't, then the actual last part, you know, that sustained note is the suspension of what's going to happen. Is he going to beat the boss or not? And then it loops again. The song loops again and again. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give this track a silver badge. I'm gonna give it it's almost a golden badge, but I'm gonna give it a silver badge, because there's something that I particularly didn't like about the song. And again, this is not like I'm saying this is a bad practice or anything, but it's the same thing. It's some of the same issues that I have with Slave Knight Gael, which is that the choirs are so incredibly loud. And I don't know if it's I'm becoming like a boomer or something, and it's actually kind of a hypocrite kind of thing to say, because, you know, I like, one of my favorite genres of music is metal, and metal is super loud, but for some reason the choir arrangements in this particular song, and not the arrangements, apologies, like the volume in it of it sounds like insanely loud. I don't know if it's a thing of the mix of the song, or is actually the arrangements of it. But I think it sounds like way too much for my liking. But this is not like it's bad practice or anything. It's just a personal preference of mine, okay? Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and share it with your friend. Also, please don't forget to visit my Patreon, my Ko-fi profile, and my Ko-fi store in case you want to support my work further, and my Teespring merch shop. And of course, ex nihilo nihil fit.